Hey, everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of the None of Your Business podcast. I'm Dr. Shawn Dill. This is Dr. Lacey Book, and Happy New Year to each and every one of you who are watching. We have for you planned, we don't want to take up a ton of your time. We have planned for you today a None of Your Business short. We want to tackle goals and commitments. And here's the thing, that this is the time of year that everybody is thinking about their goals, right? Who doesn't make New Year's resolutions? If you are an entrepreneur, you review your previous year, you start thinking about what your goals are for 2021. And maybe a lot of people maybe skip that this year because 2020 has been so difficult. Maybe you were just like,
maybe they just repeated their 2020 goals.
Maybe
We've
some
heard
people
a lot of
just
people talking about that.
Yeah, just keep them the same as 2020.
2020 was just erased.
Yeah. But what we want to talk about is that so many people make goals. They have lofty goals. They have these lofty ideals for their business, but they don't really change anything with regard to their commitments. And so we want to talk about that thought process, how it happens, and maybe offer up some tips, some thought processes that will help people to reframe this, because it's not going to work for you just to write make $1 million. Well, first of all, it's not going to work if you just write make a bunch of money.
Right.
So we have to clearly identify what it is you want to do.
Very specific.
But then if you just repeat 2020 and 2021, guess what outcome you're going to get? You're going to get the 2020 outcome. So what are your thoughts on this? What are you seeing out there with the clients that you're working with relative to goals and commitments?
Well, and that's very interesting because when I ask them, what are your goals? Share your goals with me for 2021. And they share them. I say, okay, so tell me about your marketing plan. How does your marketing plan different from the previous year and the goals that you had set forth? And they're like, well, I haven't thought about that yet. Well, how can you effectively get to a goal if you don't have the roadmap to get there? And so I often see this goal to commitment mismatch. And it's a big gaping hole. And then there is a lot of stagnancy in the business. And people always say, well, I don't know why, my goals were so out of reach this year. I'm not sure what I did wrong. And oftentimes it's not what you did wrong. It's that you just didn't do more.
Well, I think it's easy for people to see if we reframe it outside of business. Like a lot of people make sort of these health goals.
Sure.
I want to lose weight. I want to lose 10 pounds. If you want to lose 10 pounds, then the next step is, okay, so I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week. I'm going to modify my diet.
I'm going to intermittent fast for 30 days.
These are all of the commitments that you have to make in order to reach your goal. But you're saying that when it comes to business, people just say, I want more clients. Yes. I want more money. And then there's no commitments that match up to that.
Or they say, look, so last year I had 100 new clients come through my business and it generated me X amount of dollars. Well, this year, if I want to make more than I did last year, I need 150 new clients. Fantastic. Those are great goals. But the question is, how do you get the additional 50? You need to add on commitments that you didn't have in the past year in order to get the additional 50 clients.
Like what?
So for instance, internal marketing. Like maybe you didn't have really solid referral strategies in place last year. So maybe you need to up your referral game. So creating commitments around things like I'm going to ask for referrals from my clients whenever they reach a certain part of their actual client journey, right? And so actually having a commitment around that where maybe you didn't have a system or commitment around it before to increase the amount of internal referrals you're getting, therefore increasing new amounts of clients that are coming in.
Yeah, but you're nice, and I'm not when doing the consulting side of what we do. And I work with people, and what I see is I want to make, so I made X, I want to make 2X, but I want to work 0.5X. Less, right? Like I want to work half as much next year, and I want to make double the amount of money. So commitments too is like, how hard are you working? There is a lot to be said about working effectively and efficiently, right? So we want to be efficient. So I'm not saying that you have to double your output. So maybe you're like, well, geez, I'm already working 50-hour weeks. So I'm not talking about 100-hour weeks, but I am talking about keeping your work output proportionate to the amount of revenue that you expect to receive. And so many people want to work less. Here's another place where I see it.
Well, I want to just add to that if I can, because I think a great commitment around there, maybe you don't want to work more, so maybe you need to hire somebody.
Right.
And so many people, have resistance to bringing on new employees and increasing that human resource because they feel like maybe they're not financially ready yet. But you can't get to the goal that you want if you can't have more output in work.
Well, that's a commitment.
Yeah, and
you may need to commit that in 2021 you're going to hire,
exactly.
And maybe not just one person. That's the other thing. I think that sometimes people hire the wrong person. So many of our clients are in the service brick and mortar business, and the initial thought is, well, I just, especially if you're a solopreneur, you're thinking, I just need a receptionist. And I've always said, why are we hiring somebody? I mean, not against it, but is that necessarily your first hire? Because you just said maybe we need more marketing initiatives, and maybe you need help because you're trapped in the back servicing the clients, and you need help on the marketing and sales side. Maybe not the answering the phone side.
Right.
Maybe the marketing and sales side, and that's what will help you grow. You need to figure that out, and you need to commit to that. Here's another area that I want to talk about. A lot of people in their goals write that they want more work-life balance, more family time, but you have to figure out how that relates to your revenue and the growth of your business. Like I was just saying before, because I see people that say, Shawn, I want to double my revenue. I say, great. I have a marketing plan. Great. I have a commitment to hire. Great. And I'm going to take 36 weeks of vacation next year. Well, how does that work? Well, because I need to spend time with my family. And again, this is one of those things. And spending time with your family is very important. This is a goal, right? To spend time with your family. So then what are the commitments that you would need to make in order to achieve that? So that would mean that's speaking a lot to, for example, hiring. So I'm going to hire somebody to take the workload on Fridays so that I can take Friday off to spend with my family. It might mean that I'm going to get more efficient. I might add an hour to my workday Monday through Thursday. So I've added 4 hours, and now I can take off Friday afternoon, right? So just saying it, just writing it on a piece of paper like everybody does on New Year's Eve, right? And if you're Latin, right, they eat the 12 grapes, or whatever your superstitions are and your traditions are. But just writing stuff down on a piece of paper on New Year's Eve doesn't change anything. What are we now, like the 6th, I think, of January, somewhere in there. But if you didn't make new commitments, you are going to get the exact same outcome that you got in 2020. Any other areas that people need to match up their commitments? I like to tackle the ones where they're just not being honest with themselves. They want more money, they're not working, they want more work-life balance, but they haven't figured that out. I don't want to take away from, you need a marketing plan, you need your sales strategies. Those have to be on point. A lot of the things that we teach in Black Diamond Club. But I think for me, the biggest thing is there's not a commitment to themselves to actually execute.
Well, I was going to say, taking an audit of looking at your business over the past year, making sure that you understand your numbers and your statistics, and being able to analyze where there's holes in your systems is really important. Because if you want to get to the goals that you set forth for yourself, you need to know where you're not strong and the things that you're also already doing. So not just new things. What about the things that you're already doing? Do they need more work? So taking an audit of the stuff that already is working and seeing how you can make it better. So that may be going back and committing to getting better about your sales scripting, committing to getting better about, educating your clients along their journey so you have higher retention, committing to keeping your price point at the amount that it's supposed to be and giving less discounts or whatever that may be. So going back and doing an audit of things that do help you get new clients and keep clients and increase revenue, and seeing how can I get that better too. So, and committing to that so that I can reach more people, make a bigger impact, and live the life that I want.
And I have one more before we let people go. And this is a big one too. I always see this, and, you're listening to the None of Your Business podcast. This is our free public facing podcast. And of course, Lacey and I, every week we have a Black Diamond Club podcast every Monday that's exclusive to our Black Diamond Club members. We put on 3 workshops every year, a marketing, a sales, a mindset workshop, along with the Crown Jewel summer camp that happens every year as well. And we just ran through our big sales push for summer camp. But here's the thing too, if you want to really grow your business, I mean, and kudos for listening to this podcast, but I got to tell you, you need to start thinking about like, I probably need wisdom. You know, we pay a lot of money for intellectual wisdom. You know, hiring. We have 2 coaches that we work with that are both top of the line, and not only just top of the line in quality, but in pricing. Right. So we're not skimping on that. We have to map out our calendar a year in advance to make commitments. Like that's a commitment. People are always like, well, you know, I want to go to summer camp. Well, then just commit to it. Right. Right now, it's easy. It's August 13th and 14th. You just put it in your calendar and you make a commitment to it. Not because it's a vacation, but because you've committed to certain goals this year relative to revenue, relative to balance.
Conference.
And it's a growth conference.
Yeah.
You commit to coming to one of our workshops or maybe all of our workshops, you know, marketing, sales. You can find those on our website, www.blackdiamondclub.com. But here's the thing. The bottom line is if you repeat everything, and here's what people are thinking. Well, it's not going to be the same. I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that there will be no pandemic. I got to tell you, you know, I think that all of our clients, that's a bold statement, but I think that all of our clients were up in 2020. I think all of our clients
had their best years
and
ever.
a lot of them had their best year
You
ever.
can too.
And you can too.
Great.
But here's the thing. If you did not have your best year ever in 2020, you can't just say, I'm crossing my fingers and relying on the fact that there's going to be a vaccine or, you know, there will be no COVID. Like there's not really, honestly, a sign that this is ending. Like this is going to be a part of your daily existence for the near future. So therefore, the question is, what are you doing? What are you going to commit to ensure, to be absolutely positively sure that you're going to get a different outcome in 2021, other than just rolling the dice, crossing your fingers, and counting on luck or superstition. We want you to grab a hold of your own destiny. That's what this is all about. But you control your destiny by making commitments. And you know what? The commitments that are the hardest to keep are the ones that produce the biggest result.
Always.
Right? It's the same thing in health, right?
Otherwise, everybody would do it.
Not drinking milkshakes. That's hard, but that's what produces the biggest result, right? Like saying, I'm committed to waking up every morning. That's easy, but you really aren't going to lose weight by waking up. You're not going to get rich and build a business just by waking up either. So make sure that you figure out what your commitments need to be for the rest of this year. And I hope that one of them is joining the Black Diamond Club. But if not, I hope that you're committed each and every Wednesday to listening to None of Your Business and picking up these tips and executing on them immediately. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, everybody. We'll be back again next week with a brand new episode of the None of Your Business podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes or whatever your platform you're listening. And we would love it if you would drop us a review. To start off the year will mean a lot to help us to continue to grow this podcast so that we also, just like you, can reach more people, make a bigger impact, and continue to create the lifestyle that we all deserve.